Piper used to be a stereotypical sniper that was extremely weak against short-range brawlers, and considered a specialist sniper that could be countered easily if picked early in draft. Now, Piper has become a generalist, with much of the skill that used to be required to play her gone, and like her lover Rico, she was given a get-out-of-jail-free card to remove her weaknesses, leading her to become the most annoying marksman. Now, let's continue the most worrying trend in this channel, asking for your support. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Only 15% of you are subscribed, so try and get that number up. Watch the full video if you're interested in the topic, and enjoy. Before I start the video, I would like to give a big thank you to Pika for helping me out with some of the ideas behind this video. With that out of the way, let's get started. First off, let's talk about Piper's main attack. Piper's main attack is the stereotypical sniper attack. It is a single projectile with a very long range of 10, and has an interesting mechanic in which the main attack deals less damage the closer the enemy is. At max range, the attack can deal 3400 damage, but decreases all the way to just 680 damage at a minimum range. She also has a slow reload speed for her attack, with a very small attack width for her shot. The slow reload speed, the long range, the small attack width, and the fact that her attack deals more damage the longer range, all combine to make Piper the stereotypical sniper. With her stereotypical sniper status, she gains a regular set of weaknesses and strengths that come with the role of a sniper. The first, and most obvious, is her absolutely incredible strength at long range, with her very long range obviously, and high potential damage output. However, it is a bit difficult to hit the shots, with a very small attack width, making it so that only skilled players could regularly hit her shots, or at least that was supposed to be how it was. With her excellence at long range, it made sense that she was quite bad at short range, to put it bluntly, and not only did she have a slow reload speed, but her attack damage was minuscule the shorter range it was, making her laughably bad against short range brawlers. But as I have mentioned multiple times before, each brawler must have an element of self-sufficiency to theoretically deal with every other brawler in the game, and this is where Piper's super comes in. Piper's super sees her jump into the air with 4 grenades dropped where she originally supered from, with each dealing 1800 damage. The grenades take 0.3 seconds to detonate, and once they do, they also break open any walls inside the 2-tile radius of the grenades. Overall, this is a pretty good super for Piper, for 2 reasons. First off, it helps Piper deal with aggressive brawlers. As I mentioned before, Piper is literally useless against aggro brawlers, and having her only escape tool locked behind her super is a great decision, as it forces Piper to be able to hit shots in order to gain the reward of being able to push back enemies, automatically giving her a degree of skill to be played well. The second reason that Piper's super is good is that the super allows Piper to open up the map. If you can't deal with the aggro brawlers because the map is closed, why not just open it up? That's the logic behind this use, and allows Piper to thrive due to the walls being broken up, letting her fight at her long range. Without considering anything else, with her purely base stats, her attack, and her super, Piper is actually pretty balanced. She's what a perfect brawler is supposed to be, someone with both strengths and weaknesses, without leaning too far in either direction, like some of the new brawlers have been doing, but that's a topic for another day. Let me know if you want me to talk about the lack of weaknesses in the latest brawlers, as I think that's actually quite an interesting topic. But anyway, Piper's base form was quite balanced, and I think you get that point. She fulfilled her role and nothing else, as she was not an assassin, she wasn't a damage dealer, she was purely a marksman, and a skilled one at that. Her attack width is quite small, so it took considerable aiming skills to be able to reliably hit her shots, and you basically could not deal with aggro brawlers at all without your super, and you could only get your super with hitting your shots, forcing you to be able to deal with aggro brawlers for at least a little bit without your super. And so Piper thrived in a solid balance with defined strengths and weaknesses, living happily ever after. Just kidding. First of all, Piper's ambush star power was added to her. To be honest, this wasn't the worst star power to give. It gave an extra boost to Piper's ability to deal with aggro brawlers in bushy maps, giving her a damage boost for each shot she hit in a bush. Unfortunately, this also led to some more campy gameplay with Piper, as many people started to camp bushes and wait for the perfect shot to one-shot the opponents. Basically the equivalent of Edgar jumping on you from across the map. Overall, however, this wasn't the worst star power and didn't really detract from her balancing. Unfortunately, Snappy sniping was the next unlockable to be added to Piper's kit, and on release, this star power was a bit more powerful than it currently is. Snappy sniping basically allows Piper to reload 0.4 ammo every time she hits a shot. However, on release, it was 0.5 ammo every time she hit a shot, basically allowing her to become a bit of a machine gun up close, as she could just hit shot after shot on the enemy with a much faster reload speed, letting her either 1. Kill the enemy with all the shots being hit, or 2. Being able to charge up her super, letting her escape away from the enemy. This obviously made her much more annoying, but on the flip side, it offered extra incentives for hitting shots, heightening her skill cap, and as those who regularly hit their Piper shots could consistently reload ammo and keep firing, while those who didn't consistently hit shots could not match the number of attacks that the Piper pros did. Finally, Snappy sniping later got nerfed all the way to 0.3 ammo reloaded, though it came back up to 0.4, where it is currently with another balance change. But by itself, Snappy sniping's annoyingness wasn't exactly enough to completely write off Piper as an unserious brawler with limited to no weaknesses, but what released afterwards definitely had an argument for that. So what was that thing? Piper's Autoaimer gadget. Piper's Autoaimer gadget fires a thin shot that is aimed to the nearest enemy within a 7-tile radius, pushing the enemy back and slowing them down for 1 second. To be honest, in terms of gadget ideas, this is just not it. The very point of a marksman is that they are good far away and bad up close, but this gadget completely flips the script. Now, Piper gets another tool to deal with aggro brawlers, and her weakness to them is no longer looking like a full-fledged weakness. Even if you manage to bait out Piper's super as an aggro brawler, you still have to deal with her gadget that can force you to push back, making the initial bait basically useless. Most egregiously, in combination with her snappy sniping star power, this gadget can be lethal. This gadget counts as a hit shot, so her ammo will get reloaded if the shot is hit, automatically with her reload star power. The slow that the gadget causes can cause Piper to land multiple easy shots without aiming at all, basically, and can easily kill most low health brawlers if executed right. And this highlights one of the biggest problems this combo has. It removes the point of being a sniper. Snipers are inherently meant to be of a higher skill floor than most other classes, as they require precise, yet consistent aiming at long ranges in order to bring value to your team. Notice the key word in that statement, aiming. At the end of the day, being a sniper is all based on aiming. But what happens when that element of aiming is removed? Correct, you are no longer a sniper. And that's what Piper's gadget and star power combo does to her. Instead of being a long-range sniper that requires precise aiming, she turned into a mid-range damage dealer that barely requires any aiming, and is honestly closer to someone like Surge rather than someone like Brock. Of course, this isn't in most scenarios, but it still details the transformation that Piper has experienced since her release. But if you thought that was it for the transformations, you are sorely mistaken. Piper received another gadget, this time in the form of homemade recipe. This gadget is a seeking bullet that will curve towards the nearest enemy, and the bullets can expand Piper's range by an additional 1.66 tiles. Yeah, with the whole spiel I gave, you can understand my thoughts on this gadget. Now, Piper has an auto-aiming gadget for short range and an auto-aiming gadget for long range. Just when I thought Piper couldn't get less skill, Supercell goes and does this. Absolutely wonderful. All you need to do is just hit one shot at long range with Piper, and then you can just use your gadget to go and finish off most enemies without even thinking about it. I won't say it's ridiculously broken, but it is by no means a bad gadget, other than in design. Once again, what's the point of being a sniper if your shots aren't even aimed and are just automatically shot for you? With all of these changes to Piper, it is no wonder that she turned from a last pick to a very good first pick. No longer did she have deep weaknesses such as aggro brawlers, as she now had multiple tools to deal with them. Other marksmen, no problem, as you can just use the homing gadget to finish them off if you can just get one shot on them. Artillery brawlers, no problem. The homing gadget can go behind walls, and you get the point. Piper had taken the element of self-sufficiency and ran with it beyond anyone's wildest dreams. No other snipers, other than Nani, are as versatile as Piper, who can be used to fulfill many roles nowadays, and can deal with most brawlers in the game somewhat reliably. And that's the end of the video, you thought. Of course, Piper had to get everyone's favorite purple button, a Hypercharge. Piper's Hypercharge allows her to drop 6 grenades instead of 4, and much faster. When she lands, she knocks back enemies 4 tiles away from her, and destroys all the environment in a 4-tile radius around her. I never thought something like this would happen, but here we are. We have seen an era in which Piper is a viable aggro assassin. Wow. The saying of, you can't beat them, join them, has really come true with Piper. Anyway, let's get to talking about the Hypercharge itself. In the words of Pika himself, you basically play Piper like El Primo when it comes to her Hypercharge. Obviously, the Hypercharge can be used to destroy people close to you and escape, but the main utility is unfortunately something similar to El Primo's Super. The knockback allows Piper to safely land in a position and unload quick shots without any real aiming, especially with her Snappy sniping star power, basically allowing her to get a free kill if executed properly. Yeah, I bet you can guess my thoughts on this. Once again, it completely stands for the opposite of what Piper is supposed to be, a sniper. Why is she playing like a mid-range brawler now? Why does she have aggro elements when that used to be her most glaring weakness? The way Piper has been balanced is completely baffling to me, and it seems like they're trying to create a completely different brawler out of her, as she's losing all the aspects that made her the highly skilled sniper she once was, and she's been getting free get out of jail free cards, and even worse, free kills without any real skill. Overall, Piper has undergone a big transformation, from a highly skilled sniper that was extremely weak to aggro brawlers to becoming a mid to long range Frankenstein that can be used as an aggro brawler herself. Piper definitely has an argument for one of the biggest role shifts in Brawl Stars history. I, for one, am not to completely harp on and on about how every single brawler should be extremely skilled, even though it may seem that way with this video and my Rico one, but I believe that at least some brawlers should have that competitive feel to them, and I believe that Piper should have been one of them. Honestly, by the end of this video, it turned into a little bit of a rant, so sorry about that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Watch this video, or this playlist, or join the Discord server.